So you're trying to find the right settings for a controller to play Warzone 3. Well, I got you. I have some of the best settings out there. I've used multiple videos. I've done multiple hours of testing, and I have found out the best controller settings that work for me, for a casual player that enjoys playing Warzone. So let's go right into it. Let's go into the settings here. Alrighty, so I want to preface this by saying I'm a weird one. I do not use aim assist. But for the purposes of this video, I have completely changed that, and I have made it with aim assist so you can see some of the gameplay. I don't use aim assist because it messes with the way that I snipe. That's just me. But you guys do whatever is comfortable and whatever you guys want in regards to aim assist, but I have found the best aim assist settings. So here we go. Let's get into it. So my button layout, tactical, default. A lot of people use tactical. I use the default method. It works best for me. You can change your inputs just the way that you want by doing the custom button layout. That is entirely up to you. You can play around with it, whatever fits, whatever works, however you want to do it. But for me, I stick with the default. A good option is tactical. A lot of professionals use tactical. Alrighty, so the bumper ping you keep off, the flip you keep off. A lot of people do flip the triggers. It depends on if you're a lefty or a righty, but that's just preference. The stick layout, I use default because I like to keep everything kind of normal and keep with the highlighted settings, and I don't want to be bogged down when I'm hopping on somebody else's system. But that's because it's me and I'm a casual player. A lot of people use the legacy version. A lot of people like the legacy version, but that's entirely up to you, and it's entirely up to your decision. I found the default works best for me. Alrighty, controller vibration, turn it off. There's no point. It just messes with your aiming when you're in a gunfight. There's no point to have your controller vibrating at the moment you shoot a trigger of the gun. Like when you're in a gunfight, that can really, really, really hurt you. So now here's the big thing. Dead zone inputs. Mine work specific for your controller. This is going to take a lot of testing for your controller. If you have a newer controller, you want your left. The left is from your movement. You want that to be as low as possible without causing stick drift. Since I have an older controller and it does have stick drift, mine is at 6. Probably can go to 8 here, not gonna lie. But I keep it at 6 so I can actually move whenever it's needed. I keep my left stick max at 50. That means that if I'm trying to move quickly, it goes right into the sprint right away, but that comes up with my movement settings later on in the video, which you'll definitely find out. My right stick minimum is going to be an 8. The reason why it is here at right stick, because this is for your aiming. You kind of want to be careful with your right stick so that you're not just moving all over the place in the middle of a gunfight. I found this in a couple different matches to be dreadful. Find out where your stick drift is by testing. You can use to test your stick drift dead zone here too. For the aiming controller, you want to make sure this is at 100. You want to have yourself the ability to have the full range of motion to do whatever is needed, especially like when you're in the middle of a gunfight and that's extremely fast paced. All right, so now we're going to go into aiming. All right, so I use 5.5 sensitivity. Now, something that you need to keep in mind, your horizontal stick sensitivity, your vertical stick sensitivity. Now, you have to switch this to custom to be able to set this, and it will lock itself in that position for when you go back to your original default settings. For example, you can go in here, you can hit custom, and you see how this lights up, and you can adjust this where however is needed, but I keep my horizontal at 1, and I always use 5. A lot of people are like, oh, I use 13.13 or 15.15. You're just fucking with your controller and you're just kind of messing yourself up. The lower the sensitivity, the better you are at tracking. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but I appreciate it. So ADS sensitivity, I keep it 0.8. A lot of people mess with this. There's a huge debate out there in the Call of Duty community. You can see ADS ranges anywhere from 0.9 to 0.65, and everyone debates on which one's the best. For all the testing, I found out that 0.8 works for me in my SCUF controller. If you run a newer AIM controller, it's a little bit easier of a way to ADS, so I would probably recommend going like 0.7, 7.5. It might work better. Alrighty, so your sensitivity multipliers, I kept this out of box in default, but this is all 111 all the way down. Same thing with the vertical axis, I keep everything standard. Now, a lot of people like to switch this to inverted but this is really, it depends on your style of play, what you're used to, if you're a retro gamer versus a active gamer, and it's just your choice, your preference. Everything with settings are preference. I'm just telling you what I use. All right, so 80 cents multiplier, the focus mode, I just keep it at 1. Some people say, hey, you can drop this down to 0.9, and it works. It helps. But in preferences of Warzone, I just like to keep it at default, not a box. My ADS sensitivity transition timing is instant, because I don't want any delay when I'm trying to ADS, especially because I'm a sniper and I like to try to quick scope as quickly as I can. Custom sensitivity presume. I just don't use this. I just keep it off. Some people use this and they prefer this setting, and it's really nice. All right, target aim assist. I'm turning this on for this case. I don't play with aim assist normally. I normally have this off. A lot of people have it on. Now this is where there's a big thing. A lot of people are using default. Black Ops used to be the big thing. Default is actually better than Black Ops, in my opinion, right now, in the way season 1 is nearing the end of season 1 going into season 2. Trust me, it's default is a little bit better. I have been using and messing around with Black Ops because I was just testing this out a little bit before making this video, and that's why it was on Black Ops. However, default is probably the best thing to go. ADS aim assist is on, so this does work when you're by yourself, and it's pretty decent. Third person has corrective assistance automatically, and then I just keep everything else default. But default's supposed to be the best aim assist settings. Black Ops has worked. It slows down near to the target, but default is supposed to be pretty nice. A lot of people actually use precision too, but default works the best for me. All right, in gameplay, my movement behaviors, my automatic tactical sprint. I keep automatic tactical sprint for controller because otherwise you're gonna have to double tap and then you're gonna have to move, and it's just gonna be time consuming, and you're gonna find yourself dying when you're trying to run versus when you're trying to do it automatically. Having that do that is useful. Slide maintain sprint. This setting only takes effect when automatic sprint is enabled. So I keep this on. A lot of people keep it off. It messes with your slide movement with it off, is what I found. It's kind of jittery, so I keep it on, but that's just me. Automatic move forward is off. You want to be in control. You do not want to have your operator just going wherever they want. Tactical sprint behavior, I use single tap to sprint. I have automatic sprint, so it really doesn't matter, but when it comes down to it, I just single tap to sprint and I'm out. I'm running. I'm doing what I can. Turn your ground mantle off. Just turn it off. You can always jump over using the jump button, but there's no point to have that on. Any of the mantling stuff on, you're gonna find yourself in the situations where you just automatically mantle, and it's gonna affect you in a gunfight. It's gonna actually hurt you. So that's what I found to keep this stuff off. Slide behavior. Tap the slide. Now, a lot of people say, hey, we don't need to dive when you're on controller. You're right, but I found dolphin diving useful, so I use tap the slide and I hold the dolphin dive. I found that very useful to me in gunfights. A lot of people will expect to slide and they'll aim down. They'll expect you to YY. They'll expect you to jump and do certain things. But no, honestly, dolphin dive is a way to get out of gunfights, and it's definitely useful to have that in action. So I use tap to slide. That's just me. Plunging underwater is trigger. Free is also useful, but you can also trigger to get yourself under, but free is also a very useful tool. Parachute auto deploy, it's up to you. Like, honestly, the plane only is pretty great feature, and I kind of like it. So I don't know, I kind of go back and forth. I like the plane only one because it causes you not to die right off rip, and it's the automatic default setting. So it's useful. It keeps you alive in certain occasions. Sprinting door bash you want on. You want to run right through the door and you want to bash it. You slide through a door, it's going to bash it. Like, you want to have this on. You want to be able to do this. Otherwise, you're going to have to press square to interact, and you're going to lock yourself out of doors, and it's not really useful in a gunfight. Trust me, keep that on. You really want it. Ledge climb behavior, mantle only. You can do movement based, but mantle only is very useful, especially when you're trying to do certain things. Aim down sight behavior, hold. I do hold on controller. I want to be in charge of how long I ADS. That's a me thing, especially like as a sniper. Chain zoom interaction. So as you're ADSing, as you're holding your trigger, you want to use your melee button to be able to adjust it in and out. That's important, especially when you have things with variable zoom. So you'll want to keep that on the melee thing. It's very, very useful. Focus behavior is on hold. Equipment behavior is on hold. I mean, I'm tempted to switch that to toggle, but that's up to whoever. That's up to you. It's a personal preference. Weapon mount is ADS and melee. Instant ADS and down button for your tactical stance, and that's extremely important because there's a lot of really good guns that use tactical stance. So if you're in a gunfight and then you're holding down your trigger right here, and then you go ahead and hit the down button here, boom, it's beautiful, it's nice, it's super useful. That will get you in attack stance as needed. Tactical stance behavior should be on toggle, not on ADS. Now, if you're only using a gun with tac stance and you want to switch that to on ADS, that's a different thing. Prioritize interact. Prioritize interact. Prioritize interact in Warzone. If you prioritize interact, you'll be able to pick things up a lot quicker, and it really, really helps when you're in situations that you can't get yourself out of. Hold to reload. That's something that you got to get used to, because I know you can just click R when you're on mouse and key, but if you hold to reload, it's just something you just want to be used to. I put on apply all for my armor plates because it's really useful to be able to hit that button and run and reposition as you're applying all your plates. And more often than not, you're applying all your plates in one setting anyways. That's just my honest opinion. Backpack controls, directional buttons. You can put this to wherever you want. You can put it on stick, but it's gonna mess up. You want to keep it on your directional buttons. That's easier to go through. So like when you hit your inventory, you go down, you're in your backpack, you can use the directional buttons to go back and forth to select what you need to select. So that's important to note. Otherwise you may drop something you don't want to drop. Depleted ammo auto switch. Yes, please. This is very useful. It's got me out of a lot of gunfights. C4 quick C4 detonation. I don't know what this is. I just left it at default, but that's just, I mean, I guess you throw multiple C4s down and you have the group button and then you press it and then boom, they all blow up. Okay, cool. That's fine. Manual fire behavior, press and hold to shoot. Yes, you want it on press. That's an important thing. If you hold, you're gonna have a little bit of an issue. Alrighty, so short delay, free look, melee, toggle, moderate, everything else here is on default for the gameplay. Okay, so you have your aim assist set. You have your stuff set. You're all good on the controller settings. So you have everything set. We go to the default settings. We go into view. So what is important with your field of view? It's the same thing on any PC, but honestly, you get more aim assist if you're at 119 and not 120. I have found that out. If you're on 120, for some reason, it doesn't give you as much aim assist as you need, especially like when you're in strafing mode. But if you drop it down to 119, you'll start seeing that aim assist. But again, I don't use aim assist. I snipe. I prefer to have aim assist off. I prefer to be direct with it, but that's just me. That's a personal opinion. I hope you guys appreciate the settings. I'm Percussive173. Follow me on Kick. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch. You'll see me live Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Much love.